Yo, what's good, everybody? It's another episode of the Cane Town Breakdown here with my boy Raiders Primos. We got Big Mike coming on soon. Uh, everybody, hit if you know Big Mike, hit him in the DM. Tell him to hurry his ass up. All right.
I'm like, that's right now. You know what? I'd be like, Big Mike, hurry up, bro.
Facts. But I'm here with my boy Primos, man. How things been with you?
Man, trying to get back into the swing of things in the content creating world. We have been quiet on our end. I'm just recovering from being sick, but hey, I thought I'd come on and let's talk some drafting. I got some interesting takes, and then I can't wait to break it down.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And as always, glad to have you on. Appreciate you stopping by. It's been a little quiet over here too, man. There hasn't been a ton of news. It's kind of that slow point in the season. Raiders been making a little news here and there. Are we in on Aaron Rodgers? Are we not in on Aaron Rodgers? Because today we had a conflicting report from what we heard a week or two ago. A week or two ago, they wanted to tell us, oh, McDaniels and Ziegler are out. They don't have no interest in getting Aaron Rodgers. Today, ESPN's Mike Graziano reported that the Raiders are still in on the whole Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. What do you think, bro? Are we in or are we out?
Let's be honest. I mean, we should know this based on the Davante Adams trade last year. And shout out to Sean Johnson. Yeah, Sean Johnson, he's actually been keeping me in the loop of things too.
Keeps everybody in the loop, man. I don't know what we would do without Sean Johnson.
Yeah, for real. Like, there would be no Raiders Primos if Sean Johnson did not keep me updated. There was times I was trying to go live because of the information he would give me, but I just was not 100%. But I just want to give my shout out to Sean Johnson because, bro, thank you, man. It's appreciated. But real quick, I think Ziegler, the Davante Adams trade, let's go back to that last year. We thought that trade was dead. Like, we thought there's no way in hell the Raiders are going to get Davante Adams. And then, boom, I was literally just chilling, watching TV. And then my dad is screaming to the heavens, like, yo, get in here, get in here. I'm thinking this boy's dying. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And then on NFL Network, it says breaking news, the Raiders got Davante Adams. This could be another one of those, Cane Town. This could be a move where Ziegler's like, nah, I don't want the media to know about it because I don't want other teams to then come in and try to talk to the Packers, like the Jets, these other teams that have been known that are in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. Also, I think Ziegler's trying to move on the down low, like, hey, Packers, let's do what we did last year. Let's move quietly. Let's have our discussions behind closed doors where the media is not really getting a lot of information. But then from our standpoint, then what are we going to do with the draft? Because if you go get Aaron Rodgers, I know a lot of people like get Aaron Rodgers, go draft a quarterback. Most people want Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud or Will Levis. I'm telling you, I feel that is not going to happen. You get Aaron Rodgers, you are out of the market for these top quarterback prospects. Not saying you're not going to draft a quarterback, but for the top quarterback prospects, you're out of that race. Because for me, get Aaron Rodgers. I understand get your guy of the future, but this all comes down to what do the Raiders do in free agency in regards of this defense. We talked quarterbacks, we talked offense a lot, at least on my end on our shows. We needed to start discussing this defense. That's my thoughts on it.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is you think that there's no way we get Aaron Rodgers without unloading that first pick, right?
Yeah. I really think Packers are going to want that 7th overall pick. Unless I know there's reports coming out too that Packers their asking price isn't too much, as media is reporting that, they want a first, they want a second, they want next year's first, stuff like that. Apparently they're not asking for a lot, but then again, it's not like they came out and was like, oh yeah, we do want a 2nd round pick, or yeah, we do want a 3rd. No, their asking price is not a lot, but they're not explicit with it. What do they want? And I think this year's first is definitely on the table. Maybe not next year's first, but this year's first is definitely on the table.
Would you rather give up this year's first or next year's first?
I think I would rather give up next year's first. I think this year's first. I just think McDaniels and Ziegler, your jobs are on the line this season. I think if you do not show that you are willing to build this team to a championship contender, or at least a contender to give the Chiefs a battle year in and year out, because right now, let's be honest, the Raiders are the Chiefs bitches. Like Mahomes owns us. Like, let's be honest. For the past 4 or 5 years, Mahomes has owned us. We beat him, I think, only twice. I think twice. I think in the 7 years he's been there, he owns us. And I think for Ziegler and McDaniels, you came out, or from McDaniels' standpoint, you came out and said the Chiefs are the king of the AFC West until someone dethrones them. Well, build a team to go beat them. And if you come out this season and the team is anything like it was this past season, they're gone. They're gone. So I think there's so much with this draft at stake that you cannot give up draft capital. You have to keep the draft capital with this draft, because you give up that first round pick, that could change you in the long run.
Yeah, I think I'm in there with you. I don't want to give up this year's first round pick. I wouldn't give it up for Aaron Rodgers at this point. I've kind of accepted that we're not going to get Aaron Rodgers, and I'm fine with it. But if we don't, I am all in on getting one of these top 4 quarterbacks. 5 if you include Hendon Hooker. I wouldn't if for some reason they're going a run on quarterbacks in the first 5 picks, maybe 3 or 4 off the board, then I think he'd be the next best option. I think you can get him right around our second round pick, maybe even trade back a little bit, get him in the middle of the second. But yeah, I definitely want to get one of these highly touted quarterbacks. I swear to God, if we go out there and end up with a Max Duggan or some bullshit like that, I'm going to be pissed.
Bro, you gotta invite me to that show.
Oh, bro,
in on the front.
That might be the end of the K-Town Breakdown podcast. I might not have a laptop after that one.
You're gonna be breaking down that laptop. That's what's going
on.
Oh,
bro, I'm gonna turn it into a fucking frisbee.
Yeah. But hey,
what's up, Ray Deluxe? How you doing, bro?
It's been a minute since I seen that name.
We're just breaking down the Aaron Rodgers talk. Are we in? Are we out? Other than that, waiting for our boy Big Mike to get in here so we can begin taking a look back at the combine that was these last few days, and kind of see who's our winners and losers, who hurt their draft stock, all that. But Big Mike wants to be late, so
all love.
all day. That's my guy, but yeah. That's the reason I got to bust his balls, right?
Right.
Sean Johnson says you don't get Aaron Rodgers, then you move up to 3 with Arizona. If you get Aaron Rodgers, then get Hendon Hooker 2 to sit behind him. I couldn't have said it better myself. That sounds perfect to me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like I said, these fans that think we're gonna get like a Stroud or Anthony Richardson to sit behind him, it's not gonna happen.
It's a dream.
Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream.
Luck says
if this was Madden, it would happen.
Facts. I've done it. Luck says go all out on Stroud. Bro has the action to make Adams happy as fuck. I agree. That is my guy. That is above anybody else. CJ Stroud is my guy. I believe, just like Sean Johnson said, I foresee us trading up with the Cardinals, jumping up to that 3rd spot and stealing them.
Yeah, I think that's the way to get them. Because I was, looking at the draft order, and then we also have the Bears, talking about, they're taking calls to see who wants to take that first overall pick. I don't think whoever trades for that pick, they're not getting a defender. They're going to get a quarterback. Yeah. And likely it will be Bryce Young. So I think if you trade with the Cardinals up to the 3rd pick, hopefully CJ Stroud isn't then picked by, the Texans.
Houston,
Yeah, by Houston. You're hoping on that. Maybe someone reaches on Anthony Richardson. Maybe
the safest route is almost just to trade all the way the fuck up with the Bears, but you're gonna have to give up so much.
Yeah,
I mean, if we get CJ Stroud out of it, and we don't give up a ton of this year's capital, I'd give up 2 or 3 picks from next year because you have time to get those backs and make different moves. But yeah, I would be I would be interested to see if Ziegler feels like he needs to he can trade up to 3 and feel comfortable to get CJ Stroud, or if he feels like he needs to go up and grab that number 1 pick.
That's the safest route. I mean, the safest route is go up to the number 1 overall pick, get the guy of the future. And this is where I would say again, it goes back to what the Raiders do in free agency. Because if Ziegler's like, okay, I built the defense free agency, got a little pieces here, I can work with more of the draft capital I got here. But then we got to talk about that. What capital are you giving up for that first overall pick? Are you giving up this year's first and second and next year's first and second? Like, how many picks are you giving up? Because
I'd give up this year's first and third and next year's second and fourth. If that'll do it.
Hopefully that's what the Bears will like. That's what sucks. I'm like, hey, and this is, I know during the season we wanted the wins, but I'm not gonna lie. At 2-7, I was like, fuck it, just to lose. Like at this point, like,
I know at this point, it seems kind of silly that we won 6 games, don't it?
Yeah, and then no, they went on that 3-game win streak, and we're like, oh, okay, maybe I guess you guys do want to make the playoffs. I don't know.
They gave us a little bit of hope, and then pulled the rug right out from under us once again.
Yeah, so I'm like, that is because we had I believe we had the second overall pick at that point at 2-7, and if we kept on, I'm not saying I'm okay with tanking. I'm just like, we were in this situation back in 2018 with the Nick Bosa situation.
It's like if you guys just gonna end up losing at the end of the day, just go all out.
Yeah, like build for the future. That's why I was saying, like, we're 2-7. Like, look towards the future, McDaniels and Ziegler. If you guys are gonna tank, then fuck it, tank. Like, go get that second overall pick because then they wouldn't be in the situation.
Right. Luck says low key been creeping on Colts pages, and a lot of them are roaring for AR-15, and for good reason, man. Them deep balls were looking pristine. His measurables were unbelievable, man. If he goes to the right place, they could really turn him into a superstar. If he comes here, I don't know. So CJ Stroud comes here, he can start day one if need be, I believe. If Anthony Richardson comes here, I believe he's going to have to sit at a minimum half a season and learn. I don't think he's ready to step right in and take over and be the man. And not to mention that obviously McDaniel's system is not the easiest to learn. A 9-year veteran couldn't even get it figured out in a full season. So I don't know how we can expect a rookie, especially a predominantly scrambling rookie, to figure out that difficult system so fast. That's why I think CJ Stroud just fits so much better with what this team wants to do. And he backed everything up that everybody thought about him yesterday and had one of the best throwing sessions I've seen in the combine.
Yeah. His 40, bro. Let's bring that up. let's bring Anthony Richardson's 40. 4.43 seconds, a 40.5-inch vertical. And his broad jump was about 10 inches, combine record for a quarterback in the vertical and broad. And he was the 4th fastest by a quarterback since 2003. His stock went way up, in my opinion. Like, just those alone, along with the accuracy. I mean, we talked about it. This in today's NFL, you need a quarterback that's mobile, that can run, that can improvise. That's one thing I want to see. I have to do my homework on. Can Anthony Richardson be an improviser? He can run, he can get away, but is he quick to run, or is he going to improvise basically by time, get his receivers open, or is he going to be quick to run off? I've seen a lot. We've seen that. Lamar Jackson, one of them. He takes off before anything. And like I would say again, Anthony Richardson's being compared to like the Cam Newtons, the Lamar Jacksons. I'm like, that scares me because they haven't won shit. He has the talent, but they haven't. Those two guys have not won anything. What we want is a winner, not only an athlete, but someone that can win. And I agree with you. I'm more comfortable with CJ Stroud because he can be that day one starter.
Right. What Sean Johnson proposal trade to Arizona. Arizona receives our 2023 first, 2024 second, Hunter Renfrow. We get their first rounder. I don't think that would do it.
In a perfect world, I'll take that. I remember you sent me that. In a perfect world, I'll take that because.
And that's to Arizona. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. Never mind. I was thinking first overall pick. That might work for the Arizona trade. Actually, I just don't know because Arizona is so chock full of receivers. But it looks like DeAndre Hopkins is leaving, and they don't have anybody that is the same type of receiver as a Hunter Renfrow. So that makes sense. I like that trade.
Oh, they take Renfrow in a heartbeat. I think they take Renfrow in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I know Raider fans won't like that, but
I mean, at this point, I feel like maybe he doesn't fit the scheme all that well. Maybe the slot receivers that excelled in Josh McDaniel's system, were more based upon speed in that position than they were route running. So maybe he just is not quite the right fit. If we could put somebody in that spot that fits a little better, or is just a flat out better receiver, I wouldn't complain. At this point, whatever it takes to get our guy for the future, to where we're not sitting in this same spot in 2 seasons talking about who's our new quarterback, because that's the last thing I want to do.
Or having the Raider fans split, and is he good? Is he not?
Facts. We can never let that happen again.
Yeah.
Raider Luck says, let's be honest, Arizona Bears aren't going to try to after 8, because the most impact defenders will be gone unless they do highway robbery. You're trying to say they won't trade down past 8? I don't think they will either. If that's what you're trying to say, type that one out again, bro. Maybe I could give you a better response to your comment.
I think he did. Yeah, I think he meant trade after 8. Yeah.
Let's be honest, Bears aren't going to trade to after 8. Yeah, that's okay. So I read it right then. No, I highly doubt they trade down past 8. Steve Morosco, what are your thoughts on the Bears and the first overall pick and all that cap space? What do you think they should do? I think they should go out and trade down with the Colts, let the Colts jump up, get the quarterback, and they should let Jalen Carter or Will Anderson fall to them.
That'll be a smart move, and especially with the Carter news coming out and everything, and majority of the guys in the teams in the top 7 are quarterback needed teams. So
right.
There's likely going to be a run on quarterbacks in the first maybe 5-6 picks.
Yeah.
Likely Will Anderson or Jalen Carter is going to fall to you if you drop down to like the 5th pick or the 4th pick.
Right. Hell yeah, you're right. What did you think about Will Levis at the combine?
His arm strength is reason to talk about. He has really, I like his accuracy too, to an extent. He has arm strength. He was leading his receivers, but those receivers had to stretch like a little bit. Another, but I'm saying this because these are young guys, so I give them the benefit of the doubt. But in this quarterback class, a lot of arm strength. I'll say that between Levis, Stroud, and Anthony Richardson, those guys have big arms, but Will Levis has the best arm out of them 3. Not taking away anything from them.
Look who decided to show up.
Is he finally here?
Oh, it's Abdullah the Butcher himself.
Yo. Sorry, bro. I had some technical difficulties, man. I was fussing with that. My bad, man. How you guys doing?
You straight, bro.
It is.
We're doing good, man. We just got into Aaron Rodgers a little bit. Kind of sounds like we're getting conflicting reports now. We might still be in on him. I've accepted at this point that it's not going to happen.
I read something about Jimmy G. What's going on with that?
I haven't seen anything with that today.
Somebody just sent me that. I think they're just trolling me, bro.
Because I seen Docs just dropped it. So let me.
It was me on my burner account, bro. I was just trying
to piss me off. So what we talking about, y'all? What's going on, man?
We're kind of breaking down quarterbacks and how we see the top teams in the draft kind of playing out, what trades you might see in the first 7 picks, maybe deciding whether we should jump up with Arizona or be as absolute as possible and trade up for that number 1 pick and what it would cost. And then we're kind of getting into these top quarterbacks and how they performed yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, so as far as the first round pick goes, man, I mean, if we can get the first round pick, that's great, but I don't think it's like a necessity for us to do so. I think that if we go after that number 3 pick, now there is word that the Cardinals are interested in a trade. That's what I read somewhere, especially after the whole Jalen Carter like situation there. They in my opinion, I think they didn't have their guy. That's the guy that they wanted is pretty much you're not going to pick him at 3 now, right? So I'm thinking that they want to kind of move down and kind of maybe still get the guy that they're looking for in Jalen Carter, or go ahead and grab somebody else. So on the last show I did, it was I kind of generated a trade where we trade for their number 3 with our number 7. We give up one of our 5ths, and then we give up like a 3rd or 4th in the next year's draft, and it got approved. I got a B grade for it on PFF. So now I don't know on which end it was like, which one that would favor more or what I would have to do for that to be an A+ type of trade, but it got approved. It got approved, and we're still able to get CJ Stroud. So, if we get it the number 3 pick, maybe a guy like Bryce Young is gone, but CJ Stroud is still on the board. You know what I mean?
So the caveat with that, what I was thinking is if we trade up to 3 and then somebody else who needs a quarterback trades up to 1, then you got that number 1 pick grabbing Bryce Young, number 2 pick. They're going to go CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson.
That's true. So yeah.
So at that's that why point, I was kind of thinking like, it's more for sure. It's the only sure thing is to trade up to number 1, but I don't know if I want to give up all that capital. Steve Morosco says, as a Raider fan, what if the Bears traded it for Adams and their first round pick? I'm not trading Adams. I'm hating those rumors. I clown the shit out of a certain content creator until he blocked me for putting that shit in the air.
Bro, I seen that, and I seen it on the thumbnail, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna watch it, bro.
I'm pretty sure he has a troll account he's been coming at me with too. So,
yeah, it is what it is. But you're right. You're absolutely right, man. It's like if somebody does like the Colts, right? They move up to the number 1 and get their Bryce Young. Now we're in a bidding war. We're in a big bidding war, and and then at that point, it wouldn't really make sense to move up to 3 because our 2 guys are already gone, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. Now, unless we go for Anthony Richardson, I'm thinking that maybe even a team is willing to kind of reach for him as well. So we might be shit out of luck at the number 7 if we don't move up.
Right. I don't think sitting at 7 is an option regardless. I think you either go all in for one of these quarterbacks or you trade back and just build more capital.
Right.
Raider Luck says if we were to trade for Rodgers, I would wait till the draft. If Stroud and Young go 1 and 2 and we stay pat at 7 and Levis doesn't even follow us, then I'm calling the Packers for a 3rd. Yeah. What do you mean calling the Packers for a 3rd? You mean
trade Rodgers for a 3rd?
I mean, at that point, I'm down to give up that number 7 pick if all them guys are gone. If we wait that long to the last minute and we don't have anything, then at that point, that number 7 pick isn't worth what it was. So I would definitely, at that point, throw that pick to the Packers.
That's steep, man. I mean, there's some good talent still in the later rounds. Like I get it, but man, at number 7, you're looking at a guy that you can get like a solid corner shutdown kind of guy, Witherspoon, or even kind of a bookend on the other side of defensive end, young guy like in Tyree Wilson. And he might be dropped. He might be moving up to like 5 or 6. I'm thinking he's going to the Seahawks. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But
that's a good spot.
After a certain level of guys are gone, it is kind of tough, right? It's kind of tough to be like, that's a dilemma that you're faced with. Like, are we going to go? Are we going with our 7? Are we going to pick somebody here in this draft, or are we just going to just let it go and kind of just give it up to the Packers and have them build their defense of the future or whatever is going on? I don't know, man. It's a dilemma, man, because it's like you get a guy like in Aaron Rodgers, that's a right now type of situation. But if you give that to the Packers, that turns into an all-pro type of generational type of guy, then we're looking at like another Raiders type of situation where we're like, man, we screwed this one up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's possible.
And the only way you justify it is winning the Super Bowl at that point, right?
Right.
That's the only way to justify that. So
yeah,
man.
But I believe the better options than Rodgers are those top 4 or 5 quarterbacks, and if they're gone, I mean. Do you wait and pick up a Hendon Hooker later and hope he can start day 1, or put him behind Stiddy?
Yeah, I mean that's a risk too, because I mean I'm sure that he's gonna go out in his pro day and show out and show what he's got. His stock is gonna rise. So do you use a 2nd round pick on a Hendon Hooker? Or do you move up after what do you do with Hendon Hooker? It's one of those deals where you're like, man, you don't really know what you're getting with Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
His stock may rise so much to where he's getting picked late 1st, early 2nd, Yeah.
And
at that point, it's like, what do we do there?
Yeah, right.
Am I willing to kind of take a risk on a Hendon Hooker in the second round?
Steve Morosco, would you rather see a new quarterback at the Raiders or Rodgers for probably a one-year deal? I'd rather a rookie quarterback, 100% at this point.
Here's the thing, like Aaron Rodgers, we already discussed this. I think Aaron Rodgers is good for like 2 more years, at least. So if we do get an Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's good for at least a couple years, maybe even 3. Yeah. Maybe even 3. So, you know, it's tough, man. I mean, if you do give up your number 7, you're kind of hoping for a long-term, almost not a long-term, but a longer-term type of deal with Aaron Rodgers that you're going to be keeping him for longer than 1 year. So that's just kind of where I'm standing with that one.
Absolutely. What's up, Raider Room? Top defensive talent at 7 and get Hooker in the second. I don't care if he's 26. That's still 8 years of solid football if the transition to the pros is smoother. You're absolutely right. That's what I've been saying when people bring up the age. I was like, oh well, he's 2 years older. You get 8 years instead of 10 or 10 instead of 12. I mean, oh well.
26, you're still in your prime.
Right.
You can still ball out, man. 26
and you're probably
a
a lot more mature physically and mentally day one.
Right. And you got him for like you said, 8 years, 8 to 10. So, you know, if he balls out. Now, if he doesn't, you know, you give him 4 years. By the time he's 30, he might be a journeyman at that point. You let him
but
go.
You don't give him 9, right? You don't give him 9.
No. It was either you were going to say it or I was going to say it. I was like, I mean, hey, we get somebody 9 years. I mean, he may have 9 years.
Oh, hell. No.
You don't give him 9 years. All right.
No, just here's the thing. We gotta be more trigger happy this time around. You know what I mean?
Right.
When it's time to cut, it's time to cut, man. We waited too long to cut this man.
Yes.
Guy that shall not be named, right? So, you know, we gotta cut ties when it's starting to sour, man. That's life. That's a life lesson right there, man.
Right. That's a hot take, Raider Lux. I don't know about that one, bro. I don't think Jaren Hall looked all that great yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying a lot of good things about Jaren Hall. I want to see a little bit more out of him. I mean,
yeah, I expected a lot better performance yesterday. I saw a lot of missed passes, a lot of passes off target.
You know who balled out was Stetson Bennett.
Yes,
Stetson Bennett
and deep balls.
He went off, man.
Yeah, he looked great.
He probably got himself
like 35.
Oh yeah, I mean, shit. He's up there, but you know what the thing is about him is like. He probably punched his ticket to get drafted because he was probably undrafted at that point, and he probably earned himself a 6th round, 7th round grade at that point with just his performance alone. I would like to see him in the pro day to see what else he got. Yeah.
Let's see. Raider Room. You're not risking a top 7 pick on him while getting some major help from Max and the defense. Just my opinion. That's fair. I'm just really worried at what this regime is doing if they don't get one of those top rookies. It starts to get a little spooky as you move forward because you're going to start getting closer to the start of camp and everything like that, and you don't have a solidified quarterback or someone who is a certified starter. Shit gets a little worrisome. So I guess with me saying that I would trade that 7 pick at that point is just me saying, well, now we have a solidified for sure starter. And we're ready to go into camp and get ready to go into the season.
Yes, sir.
So, we kind of covered the quarterbacks. Big Mike, what did you think of Will Levis?
Strong arm, man. Strong arm. His cannon, he is a cannon. He has a cannon for an arm. I want to see more. I want to see a little bit more from him. I want to see his pro day. I want to see him throw those out routes. I want to see him throw those like 10 and out routes on the other side of the hash where he's throwing across, the distance of the field. I want to see him throw cannons like that. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I want to see him throw those like tough routes where, that those pro type of style throws. You know what I mean? Like, he could throw a long ball. He could throw the quick slant. All that stuff is great. But can you throw a pro type of throw, like a pro opposite end of the hash out route and it being a dot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you do that? And that's kind of what I'm looking at with him. And then plus like him kind of being Derek Carr-ish in the pocket kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
And we had the same dilemma with DC, right? Do you blame the offensive line? Do you blame the lack of receivers? Who do you blame in that situation? You know what I mean? Because Kentucky had that same problem where they didn't have weapons, the offensive line wasn't that great. Who do you blame? You know what I mean? So
Right.
we got to do some serious evaluating with Will Levis if we even consider to pick him up.
He did improve his stock in my book yesterday. I saw some things I like. I wish he would have ran the 40.
Yeah.
I with these quarterbacks, I don't understand the guys who don't run the 40 because nobody, unless you're Anthony Richardson, nobody expects a blazing fast 40. You know what I mean?
Right,
if Will Levis went out there and ran a 4.7, I don't think anybody'd be upset.
No, he's a quarterback.
So I really wish these guys would run because when you get a guy like Will Levis and he's that size and you have certain questions about him, going out and running a 4.58 would make people forget about some questions they have about you.
Sure.
So I feel like it can only help you as a quarterback. What do you think about Bryce Young coming in at over 200 pounds?
That helped him big time. I mean, he was 205. I honestly think he looks under 205. He looks really small. You pair him up next to Kyler Murray, who's like a thicker individual. You know what I mean? Pause if necessary, right? But
hey, man, I hit Twitter with Will Levis as a specimen and got all kinds of comments on that.
I had to flame you for that one, bro. I had to flame you, but like you see them side by side, they're the same weight, right? They're listed as the same weight and height, but Kyler Murray looks a little bit bigger than him. You know what I mean?
And I don't think Bryce Young, day one of the season, is going to be 204 pounds.
No, he's
probably
his playing weight. His playing weight is about 195. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Ray Deluxe wants to talk about how good Dorian Thompson-Robinson looked. He looked solid.
He looked solid.
He
looked solid.
I
mean, he's a 5th round, 6th round grade. So, if we do consider a quarterback late, that might be a good move.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it'd be bad to have someone like him on your practice squad year one. Maybe develop him.
It's those Chip Kelly quarterbacks though that I'm kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Historically, Chip Kelly quarterbacks is just not. That's not the move to go in the pros. So I don't know.
Steve Morosco says, I would love to see Rodgers get out of Green Bay because I'm a Bears fan. Okay. I want Patrick Mahomes to get the fuck out of Kansas City because I'm a Raider fan, bro.
That ain't happening for a while, bro. We might as well put our seatbelt on and go for the ride, man.
I know. It's going to be a long fucking ride.
Man.
Yeah, I'm tired of screaming at my TV like, man, why did Mahomes got to come to our division?
Man.
Right. What's good, Raider Scorpio? What about a trade for Mac Jones? If he's and sign Stidham and let them battle it out for the starting quarterback. See, now this kind of helps my point earlier. When I'm talking about if we don't get one of those top quarterbacks, and then we're saying we still don't want to trade that number 7 pick for Aaron Rodgers, this could be what you end up with.
Yeah. If we do trade for Mac Jones, here's the thing, man. I don't want to give up anything more than a 3rd. And if we do get Mac Jones, he's on a rookie contract still. So that's beneficial, right? And also he's due for a payday, I believe, next year, right? Is it next year?
2 years. No, he's got 2 years.
He's got 2 years. So we can roll with him for 2 years, get a quarterback in the process.
Develop him behind him, yeah.
Yeah, develop behind him. If shit don't work out, we give him his shipping papers and then can grab another guy. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and I'm all right with it, I guess.
Yeah. And by the way, Raider Scorpio, if you haven't visited planetraiders.com yet, I have an article detailing our free agent options. And I do go a little bit more in depth about a trade for Mac Jones. So if you want to check that out, planetraiders.com. My boy BigMike also has some great articles on there, great reads. We're going to be consistently tossing that fire out to you on Planet Raiders. So everybody start looking up in there. You'll see great articles on almost a weekly basis. And
I got one dropping tomorrow as well.
You gonna drop one tomorrow?
Yep, dropping another one tomorrow. Yep. So we keep this thing rolling, baby. Yes, sir.
Bruce made sure he didn't take a dump that day just to keep the extra weight. Bryce.
Yeah.
Bryce out there extra constipated.
Man, 205. All right, I need a laxative.
Here, motherfucker, eat this block of cheese.
Man.
Did you see the
That's
shoes he
true.
was wearing? They were like 2 inches taller, like that he was wearing.
Right. He
Oh,
had
Yeah, I
them,
did see
them
those.
lifts.
Yeah, I'm
Man,
like, man, this boy's
If they don't make,
flying.
if they really let those dudes wear shoes while they measure their height, that's just defeats the whole
Yeah.
purpose of measuring their damn height.
Right.
Because I mean, motherfuckers gonna come out here in some platforms.
If he's 5'10" in platform shoes, man, I don't know. I don't know,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
Bro, they had like that much.
Yeah, I know it was a thick
Sole.
sole. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that, man. Yeah.
Bryce ate 10
Crazy.
tacos de asada before the combine.
Shit, man. I did that watching the combine, so you know that's
You getting ready to be the offensive line.
Little off topic.
one technique, baby.
Shit, that's what I did watching the fights last night.
Man.
And you guys catch them fights?
Oh, I
Man,
didn't. I heard that
I
John
didn't.
Jones won though.
Bro, John
Yeah,
Jones just made that shit look so easy. He's the unquestionable GOAT.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't.
Man,
See
I
it.
want
I
to see
was
him.
like,
I want to see him hold on to that belt for a minute, man. I want to see him hold on to it for a good minute.
Yeah, I think he will. I don't see anybody on the horizon who's going to take it.
No.
We got. So I feel like we did our due diligence here on the quarterbacks. I think we're all in agreement. CJ Stroud is the guy. Ball coming out of his hands looks smooth as a baby's bottom.
Effortless, man.
Yeah.
Effortless.
Footwork looked nice. I've heard reports that he has sloppy feet. I did not see any
I didn't see
ounce of
that at
that.
all, bro.
very comfortable.
Yeah.
Better Luck says, yeah, Mexico got another UFC champ. Yes, they did. Alexa
There you
Grasso
go.
shocking the world.
There you go.
But yeah, so I think CJ Stroud is where we go ideally. Number 2, I'm going Anthony Richardson at this point. I would have put him 4 or 5 before I saw him at the combine. His arm, his accuracy looked a ton better than during the season.
You got him ranked over Levis?
I got them probably 50-50.
Me too. It's hard. It's like what? They're basically the same, right?
If you're talking about for our offense, I'd probably go Levis.
Me too.
But I can understand why teams have such trouble not grabbing an Anthony Richardson because, bro, if this dude absolutely meets his full potential, oh my goodness,
it's gonna be a crazy day, man.
Mahomes versus Richardson is going to be the game to watch.
He'd be like a Lamar Jackson, but better.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine Lamar Jackson at 245 pounds.
Yeah, a durable, sturdy Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
ridiculous. With
probably no injuries or minimal injuries,
yeah.
And I feel like he definitely has the stronger arm of the two.
Yep.
If he can just figure it out on the short and intermediate routes and just decision making and everything like that could be a dangerous man. If I'm Chicago, I am definitely looking at Justin Fields and like, man.
Well, here's the thing, man. Chicago is the biggest winner out of this whole process because it
just makes that number 1 pick more sexy.
Yeah, that value of that number 1 pick has gone up. You know,
absolutely.
We were talking about just giving up 1 first-round pick. Now you're talking about, hey, you might have to drop 2.
You might.
You know what I mean? So,
or a ton of late round picks.
Right. So you might have to like send the whole farm to get whoever you want for that number 1 pick at this point. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yep. So moving on from the quarterbacks, what did you see on the defensive side of the ball? What stood out to you?
Kalijah Cansey. 4.67 official 40. Another guy was Thule.
Thule looked good.
He looked great, man. His footwork is effortless. He lost a lot. He lost some weight.
He came in light, 266, and he was expected to be 280. Now you probably see him a little more on the edge or a 3 technique and a 3-4.
Right, and that's the thing about him is he could probably be that Aaron Donald type where you could put him at the 1, the 3, the edge. Like you could put him anywhere, and he can wreck shop. So I think those are the 2 guys that I'm really looking at. Realistically, it'd be Tuli Pelotu. So, in the second round, that'll be some guy that I would like to grab. That would be my ideal situation. Dorian Williams out of Tulane.
I saw him
as a mid-round pick. His stock rose big time. And I got cooked on Twitter, man, because I put that he was from Coastal Carolina, and then
They
a
ain't
whole
like
bunch
that.
of people, a whole bunch of people from Tulane came after me. It was like, nah, bro, he's from Tulane. So shout out to those guys from Tulane, man. They really back their dudes over there, man. So Dorian Williams from Tulane University, man. He's gonna be a good mid-round pick at linebacker. So those are the three that really stood out to me. Oh, Baware from
Oh, that's right. Like literally, look, I just pulled him up. I was about to talk about him.
There you go. Baware from Northwestern, man. That dude,
Bro.
Yeah, he
He
killed
looked
it.
great.
He killed it. So
I didn't even know who he was before the combine.
Yeah, me neither. And his stock rose, and he's looking at maybe a late first round grade at this point now. His stock is rising. Diaby from Louisville, he was like an undrafted free agent projection. Now he might be moving his way up to the 5th or 6th round. So
yeah,
those are kind of my guys that stick out to me without looking at my notes.
How about Nolan Smith?
Nolan Smith, yeah. How can I forget Nolan Smith, man? Like
freaking.
He
nature.
said that he ran a sub 4.4, right? And
Yep.
he said that he wasn't even running his fastest. That's the crazy part, man. Like,
yeah, we're gonna be looking for an edge rusher at some point. I'm not sure exactly where he falls. Probably somewhere in the second or third.
Hey, Cane Town, real quick, bro.
Yeah,
I got to head out real quick. Right now, the signal is coming back on me.
I just saw your
yeah,
message,
I just read it.
Take care
man.
of yourself, bro.
Yeah.
You feel better, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll get you back soon.
We gotta do this again soon, bro. Man, it's been too long, man.
For sure. I'm gonna try to get back to 100%, and I can get back on here.
Yes, sir, man. Feel better.
Do your thing, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, take care, man. So yeah, man. That's what were we saying before?
We were talking about Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith, yeah, man. Like, yeah, he might be another. I don't know. I didn't know where his stock was. I really wasn't paying attention to Nolan Smith before this, man.
Same.
Winning the underwear Olympics is great, right? But how does he play?
Right. Can he get off a block?
Can he shed a block? Can he play that dominant defensive end? I don't know. I gotta do more research on him. But
it's a hell of a canvas to start with.
Yeah, one thing's for sure is that his stock is rose. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds himself in the top 10 at some point.
Kansas City.
I hope not, bro.
Wouldn't that just figure?
I need them to have like a draft bust, man, for at least the next 5 years. So. But he was impressive, man. He was impressive.
Bro, DJ Turner ran a 4.27.
And that was one of my speedsters that I was gonna that I wanted to go with, man. As far as he's a DB?
Yeah, physical corner. And it's weird. And it's not often you see a guy that fast be as physical as he is.
Yeah. I always get DJ Turner mixed with the wide receiver DJ Turner.
Right.
I always get it mixed up, and they're both burners too. That's the crazy part. But yeah, man, his stock rose. I'm assuming he's a 3rd round projection now. I know he was probably a later round projection at some point, but he might be in the 3rd or 2nd round at this point now.
Yeah. Emmanuel Forbes looked great. Joey Porter Jr. looked great. Christian Gonzalez solidified his spot as number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. He ran a sub 4.4 or just over a 4.4, I believe.
Yeah,
At 6'2", 200 pounds. And at that size, running like that, man, he's a
big corner
lock. He's the number 1 corner.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Since the last time we were on, we haven't got to talk, but what do you think about Julian Brents?
Julian Brents. I'm not really familiar with him.
Okay, so most people weren't. I kind of heard about him, went and looked him up. I got to check him out to see what school he's from again.
Okay.
But he's a 6'4" corner with a 7-foot wingspan.
Oh.
Okay. He is Kansas State.
Okay.
Kansas State. I didn't see him work out yesterday. I don't know if I just missed him or he wasn't there, but he looks super fast. He's another very physical corner. Definitely go check him out.
Okay.
Because he might be, if we don't grab a guy in the 1st, he might be my guy in the 2nd.
Okay. I'm all right with that, man. I'm definitely all right with that. I mean, they're they're really like converting these basketball type players into football players these days, man. These long wingspan kind of dudes, man. It's kind of crazy to see.
Yeah, speaking of basketball, did you see Anthony Richardson's between the legs dunk on the highlights?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, oh,
that's ridiculous. He's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
So,
another guy that stuck out is my favorite linebacker in the draft. Drew Sanders looked really good.
Yeah, he was solid. He was solid. I mean, I already expected that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I didn't mention him, is because like I was looking at guys that kind of like jumped off the page to me. You know what I mean? I knew what I was getting with Sanders already.
Yeah.
So I didn't. It was like, all right, you did what you were supposed to do. With
right. It's just you do see a lot of guys hurt themselves at these combines where they don't run what they're supposed to. They struggle in a drill. A wide receiver drops a couple extra balls, and they go from being a projected second or third guy to a fourth or fifth guy.
Right. One guy that kind of sticks out to me when you said that was Joey Porter Jr. Like he didn't run as fast as people thought.
No, he wasn't as fast. What do you think? He was a 4.55 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And it was like, oh man. And they were interviewing his dad when he ran the second 40, and you could just see the disappointment in his face. You know what I mean? It was like, damn. I mean, I know it's not gonna mess up his stock too much, but you know, this is a guy.
He had a chance to put himself as the number one corner.
Yeah, he could have been a top 10 guy in the draft. Now he's probably going to be a mid first round guy.
Yeah. So,
which is beneficial for him. He's going to go to a winning squad and just dominate over there. So,
you know. Yeah, man. Any wide receivers or tight ends stick out to you? I know one tight end stuck out to me.
You talking about Kuntz?
Nope.
Washington?
Yes.
Darnell Washington? Yeah.
Bro.
That dude can block his ass off. They had him on the one-man sled, and he just dominated that one-man sled. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, dude's a powerhouse.
But Zach Kuntz, man, run a 4.55.
Yeah, I think I saw that is what he ran. Yeah, no, he's impressive as hell. The thing that jumped off the page for me for Washington was I don't know if you saw when they were doing the fade routes and he got that one-handed grab,
one-handed snag. Yeah. Woo. And you know the thing about him,
a 4.65.
Yeah,
that's 6'6", 265.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like he had it on his Twitter handle, right? Sixth lineman. He was there for blocking purposes at Georgia. Oh, so man. He just rose his stock as an athletic tight end as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So somebody's gonna pick him in the first round and probably get a generational type guy.
Right.
So yeah, I was definitely impressed with him. It was just him and Zach Kuntz. Those are the two that kind of really stuck out to me. Everybody else was kind of like, Yeah,
kind of just did exactly what you were saying. Drew Sanders did, just kind of confirm
what they were supposed to do. Yeah, like Myers, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. You know, good hands. Kind of reminds me of like a Travis Kelce. But besides that, man, it's like the rest of the tight ends pretty much did what they were supposed to do in my eyes.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. Wide receivers, though. I mean, who was let me get my notes, man. Let me get my notes. Because there was a lot of burners, and that's why I'm doing my my speedy receivers article.
Yeah.
I'm revising. Yeah, I'm gonna do a revision of that one because there was a lot of burners that I had off my radar.
Wheaton or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Ford Wheaton. That's gonna be one of my guys. And man, you know, a lot of these receivers, man. Let me see who else. There were some guys that really like stuck out to me. Yeah, I got a shit ton of notes, bro.
That's a good
shit ton of notes.
Man. Good thing.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get you a pin board, like up in front of your desk. Get them all pinned up.
Yeah, man. Yoshivas, you know, he did his thing. He ran a 4.43. Yeah, he looked good. He kind of reminds me, like build wise, like a what's his name? Mac Hollins.
Yeah,
build wise, very similar build.
Probably a little faster.
Real lean, yeah, faster too. Real lean, good hands. Stout, like man, yeah, that would be somebody I wouldn't mind picking up in the 5th or 6th.
Yeah, round. I was listening about a month ago, and Raider Scout was kind of going on about him when he was at the Senior Bowl and all that. That's some good buddy he mentioned. I looked up, so it's cool to see him go out there and kind of confirm what Scout been saying the whole time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know it is. He didn't run that 4.2, that sub 4.3 like we thought he was going to run, but I mean, you know, he's flirting with a 4.4, sub 4.4. So I'm all right with that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It was good for me, good enough for me.
Definitely. One position group I didn't get to see a lot of safeties. Anybody stick out for you from the safety perspective?
Not really, man. Safety is
That's
not
kind of
really.
what I thought. I was like, did I miss them or did they just not do
It wasn't
much?
anybody that really. Nobody really stuck out and did. Brandon Hill ran a 4.44. That was pretty good. Torrance, another guy from Florida? Might be a guy I'm looking at. Scott from Cal. That'd be a guy I'm looking at. He's a projected undrafted free agent, but he might be moving up to the 5th or 6th round at this point.
Yeah.
His stock rose a lot. So.
Raider Lux, I got to disagree with you there, bro. If Drew Sanders drops to the 3rd, somebody done fucked up.
Yeah, 3rd. That's yeah.
I think you see Drew Sanders at the tail end of the 1st round up to the middle of the 2nd round. Yeah. If he gets to the 3rd, I'm going to be throwing shit because we didn't pick him.
Yeah, hey, bro. I'm in a little pain. Not gonna lie. Okay. I'm standing up right now, so I'm gonna have to. You know my back situation.
All right, bro. For those of you who don't know, Big Mike had some back surgery. So I mean, you haven't seen a lot of lives lately or anything like that. Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna take that opportunity. I'm gonna round up the show, man, and we're gonna get somewhere comfortable, bro. And maybe here in the next week or so, man, we'll reconvene as we get closer to free agency. One more thing, though. Thing.
Go for it, man.
We at free agency at the start of the new league year, you will see the unveiling of me and Big Mike's new podcast. We have officially picked a name. We're going with the Swaggering Boisterously Podcast.
Swaggering Boisterously Podcast. Yes, sir.
Looking a little bit like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Looking forward to getting that off the ground, Joe. That's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. I cannot wait. We hope all of you come and see us over there, man. We'll be running that on my channel and Big Mike's channel. The future's bright, man. Planet Raiders, absolutely. Swaggering Boisterously. We're just getting started out here, you guys. You guys have a great Sunday.
Yes, sir. Salute.